Today's battle is between two like Metazoic creatures. No, Cenozoic. It's between two Cenozoic creatures. Yeah. It's between the Kelenken and the Megaloceros. Okay, let's get into this. Kelenken lived in North America and was around 7 to 10 feet long and weighed around 500 pounds and was 9 feet long. Megaloceros also lived in North America and it had an antler span up to 12 feet, which is highly unnecessary for a huge freaking deer. I mean, it kind of is, but at least shorten it a little bit. You can watch Tearzu's video about how these huge antlers hinder your mobility and everything. Link in description. Yeah, Megaloceros can be up to 6 to 7 feet tall, 13 feet long, and can weigh up to around 600 to 1,000 pounds. No, yeah. Okay. Okay, need to. Some specimens are average can weigh to an average of 600 to 1,000 pounds, but some have reached the length reached the weights up to around 1,190 to 1,543 pounds, which is freaking huge, man. Okay, weapons: giant beak versus giant antlers. Who wins? Now the antlers they offer some protection when it's area control. Crazy redneck. Because some crazy neighbors are screaming outside. I don't know if you could hear it though. Okay, but the Megaloceros leaves its huge opening on its head, and one slam from the Kelenken's beak, and it's game over for the Megaloceros' skull. Okay, talons versus hooves. This goes to the talons because no, it actually goes to the Megaloceros because the Megaloceros can keep the Kelenken's talons at bay while he can just kick, but it's not going to be as effective as the sharp talons of the Kelenken. So yeah, X factors. Kelenken can run pretty fast for its huge size, and plus it was the top predator at its time. So yeah. Okay, now the Megaloceros' X factors is that its brown color blends into the environment it lives in, and plus it has these huge antlers for defense and offense, and it's using an intimidation factor to attract mates. Yeah, it's surprisingly fast and agile for its huge size. I mean, not as agile as today. Let's just say as today's white-tailed deer. Yeah. Okay. Speed, Kelenken, strength, tide, brains, tide, attack, Kelenken, defense, and Megaloceros. Okay, let's fight. So the Kelenken is looking for something to eat today, and he looks and sees the Megaloceros grazing. He screeches at the deer and then runs towards it. The Megaloceros looks up and sees this giant 10-foot tall bird strutting towards him. Oh yeah, reason at the maximum size. So Megaloceros, on the first impression, phew, runs. The Megaloceros is slowing down because of his huge antlers and so yeah. Kelenken easily catches up slams his beak onto the Megaloceros' head. But that attack is getting hindered because of these sharp, curvy things on his antlers. So he decides to do a risky move and shove its head at the Megaloceros' side and knocks it over. Megaloceros trips, and before Kelenken can rip out or claw out the deer's throat, the giant freaking deer kicks the Kelenken's legs, making him fall down. The Megaloceros flashes his huge antlers at the Kelenken, and the Kelenken threatens to kick him by jumping up in the air and waving its huge talons around. Kelenken charges and tries to kick and stomp on Megaloceros, but Megaloceros, the much more heavier Megaloceros, pushes him aside and just flips him over. Kelenken falls on his back, but then he chases after him and slams his beak, the sharp end, onto the Megaloceros' back. The Megaloceros, like, has some broken backbones, but he still keeps crawling towards the victory. You can make it! I see the light! The Kelenken keeps slashing at it, but the Megaloceros, he's finally had enough. He puts his big boy pants on, and turns around and rams his antlers into him. Kelenken just keeps scratching and scratching and biting until one lucky slash from the Kelenken's talons causes the game changer. That one of the talon swipes slices the deer's throat. The deer stops charging and just flops down to the floor. The Kelenken falls onto his back with a little brain injury, and the deer is lying there. He's almost about to die, and the Kelenken has no mercy and slams his beak onto the deer's skull, puncturing a hole in it. Blood is spewing everywhere. Blood is slowly trickling out. The Kelenken screeches in victory and just starts devouring and ripping apart the deer. Verdict: I think the Kelenken would win around 57% of the time. It's just a lot more strong. It's just a lot more taller and it has longer range. But I do believe that the heavier Megaloceros would be able to kill the Kelenken if it hit it in the right place. Either knocked it down and stepped and broke its neck with its hooves, or just outright killed it with its antlers. There's either way to a different battle, and life is not fair. But who do you think would have won this fight? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.